Do you feel very much that other people regard you as a bit serious?
It may be a reasonable criticism. You know, I do take the work very seriously. Maybe it's because, I mean, I think there's two sides of it. I do take the work very seriously, but on the other hand, I think there's too much trivia in the world, and people are too easily distracted by the trivia than anything of a serious nature. I mean, the balance of entertainment and serious art is way out of balance. It falls totally on the side of entertainment. People are constantly looking for escapism instead of looking for things that will enrich their lives in some way. And that sounds like it's going to be something very heavy, too meaningful, something that's going to be a burden to you to sit through and watch or listen to or whatever. But it isn't. If you can just give your concentration to one piece of music, one painting, one film, at one point in time, it can be uplifted and rewarded for one experience of that. Nature can last you for a year, or I mean, an experience in your life. If you go to a certain place and you have a certain experience that you find rewarding, it can last you a lifetime as a source of comfort, And the arts can have the same effect on a person's life.
I mean, the pop world isn't exactly overloaded with serious artists.
Well, yes, in a way, I'm working in an area that probably is the wrong choice to work in. But I was brought up with pop music, and I enjoy pop music, and I can see that there is it's possible to put a value in pop music and reach a lot more people than you would if you made less commercial music and you were like preaching to the converted. I mean, I want to reach as many people as possible without compromising in any way, in the hope that, if 100 people bought my record, one person may get something out of it of value. That's an ideal of mine. Of course, it has to do with how successful I am in my interpretations of, in recording the pieces I do, which I'm never really sure about, just how successful I am.
You also have a fascination, it seems, to finish a song very abruptly, very suddenly, and where you don't expect it to stop. There's a few songs like that on this new album. As a listener, you almost get surprised. Is it finished, or was it the machine that stopped?
I think it started with when I was working with John Punter in Japan's days. John had this thing about extremely slow fades. They would go on forever. And I used to enjoy that. I used to, because it kind of, if the listener's absorbed in a piece of music, the slow fading out sort of lets them out gently from the experience. But as time's gone on, I've found fading music such a strange thing to do, and with Brilliant Trees and Gone to Earth, I avoided doing that. Pieces would end. They had a definite beginning and end, except for some of the instrumental pieces. And it's just an extension of that, really. And I think that when I'm working with very simple forms of music here. I mean, forms of music that everybody understands. And you can take far more liberties with this kind of music than you could if you were doing something more abstract, because people still understand. I mean, like Ghost, for example, it was successful, I think, because it was a form that everybody understood. It was a ballad, verse, chorus, everybody understood it. But so we took it to pieces in the arrangement, but it was still recognisably a ballad, and therefore it still appealed to a lot of people, and I like that. That's why I like to work within quite a strict form.
Is that your biggest commercial success?
Ghosts, yes.
As a song?
As a song.
As a single?
Yeah. It's something, I mean, I've continued to work that way. Still ballads. I mean, I love writing ballads, and I still find it gives me a lot of freedom to play with the arrangements, and still the pieces of music remain accessible to a lot of people.